Hey everyone, it's Cory, and I'm here with the president and CEO of the Sherman Boys and Girls Club, Brian Partee. I interviewed Brian whenever he first started several years ago, and I'm excited to be talking to you again, get a little update on what all has changed.
Yeah.
You guys just wrapped up your summer program. Tell us just a little bit about that and how that went.
Well, it was good. We love summer. We love our kids. We love summer, but it's controlled chaos. It's a lot of kids. We're open, 11 and a half hours a day. Kids are here all day. It's crazy. They're running around, a lot of rotations. We hit capacity a lot in this building. The fire people, when we talk to the fire department and the fire chiefs and stuff like that, fire marshals, they're like, because of the size of the gym, officially we can do like 400 kids.
Yeah.
That'd be insane. We'd have about 225, 230 on an average daily attendance. So we were jamming on it. But the great thing about it is we started really early with the programming and everything. So we had some really good, we had a whole system on the body, and the art project was, 2 Ziploc bags, and kids would blow in and see how lungs work, and stuff like that. And they drew an eye, but then they cut the little part out so they could see their eye, and they understood the colors and the iris and the pupil and the retinas and stuff like that. So it was, the Boys and Girls Club takes this kind of thought of fun with a purpose.
Right.
Because if kids like, oh my gosh, I'm going to school part 2 during the summer, they're not going to want to come.
Yeah.
So we try to make it so it's as fun as possible to attend, but you're still kind of getting something, reading stuff. Or we'd watch, the summer was a marvelous summer. So we did the Marvel movies and stuff like that.
Okay.
But we tied them in, first of all, we showed them all chronologically, which was totally cool. But we tied them all into different lessons and what could you learn, and should we trust Loki, because Loki seems to be good sometimes and he occasionally does good stuff and then he goes bad or whatever, and we brought stuff in like that to real life. So it made it entertaining for the kids. And of course, obviously we're in the gym right now. You get the time to run around and dodgeball and shoot and frisbee and all that kind of stuff. So it was a good summer, but like I said, it's just, it works you. You're like going, whew, that kind of thing.
Absolutely. And so, I see the poster behind us that says the positive place for kids. Can you talk about the mission with the Boys and Girls Club and really what y'all's purpose is here?
Well, I'll tell you this first. We recently changed our mission.
Okay.
Because we had the same boilerplate template to enable kids who need us most and kind of thing from the national office. A lot of clubs throughout the country have it. It's a really great mission. But I was like, we need something more specific. And what do we want to do? So we changed it, and it's to inspire, empower, and engage kids to find their own futures. And that's important, their own futures. Right. Because right now we're like talking like 10-year-olds and go, hey, what do you want to be? You want to be a doctor? Grades better be good. You're going to medical school.
I still don't know what I want to do when I grow up.
Growing up and age-wise, that's two different things.
Yeah.
So, we want them to find out what it is they want to be. And you don't ever know what you're interested in, where it's going to go. Right. Like we had, and this is a story they always tell in the Boys and Girls Club, 2 stories. I'll give you 2 quick ones. Misty Copeland is the first black lead ballet dancer for the New York Metropolitan. Considered the best dancer in the world right now, ballet dancer and stuff like that. She was a little girl in Los Angeles, and her director of the club wanted to do a dance class. Yeah. And the CEO was like, no, you can't do that because there's 8 little girls. And, we have 50 kids doing the gym. We need the space kind of thing. It wasn't, the guy kept pushing. They finally got it. Missy was in that class. Yeah. She learned to love to dance and then form. And obviously she didn't become the dancer and have the skills that she has because of the club, but we showed her, we gave her those opportunities, Yeah. The other story that they always tell is Denzel Washington. He was going to be wasn't going to be an actor. He's our national spokesman. He was actually going to be the best basketball player in the world. That was his plan. But he was decent. He still shoots around from what I understand and everything. But his director pointed out to him that every time he got fouled, and he's like, seriously, he's like, you should get into acting. And the school is doing a play. Why don't you get into it? And a couple of Academy Awards later, he's Denzel Washington. So what I think all that means, for the club at least, is we try to show kids what they could be. You could be a doctor. A lot of school, a lot of money. You make money at the end, but you could be a vet. You could be a real estate guy. You could be the CEO of your own company, because basically I'm kind of running my own company. It's kind of, I do this. Yeah. How do you run your own business? I want to be a mechanic. I like working with cars. Yeah. There's so many things that these kids, because they're always focused on, what do you want to do now? And a lot of times it's, okay, I'm 10 years old and I'm quick. I'm going to be in the Olympics. Well, okay, let's talk about that. How are you going to work to be in the Olympics? And if the Olympics, if your knee blows out, what are you doing next? Yeah. How are you getting there? So I think what we try to do is make sure, obviously, we're inclusive for all these kids, rich kids, poor kids, black kids, white kids, Latino kids, boys, girls, all that. Yeah. We want to make everybody feel safe here and come here, but find what they want to do. We want to, like I said, inspire and engage them, empower them. Those are the things that we want to do for these kids. And that could take so many different faces. Right. So that's what I think I think the best part about this club is, it allows us and my staff to be creative. Right. If I have somebody here who's good at Taekwondo or good at piano, well, let's figure out, pianos are expensive, but let's figure out how to do a piano class, a keyboarding class. Yeah. Let's figure out how, there's so much we can do with kids, not only to keep them from getting in trouble, but helping them find the directions they want to go, maybe find something, we took our kids one time we did a college trip. Yeah. And it wasn't local, because everybody, all of our kids, and I don't mean anything bad to Austin College or Grayson College, because they're wonderful. They're great places. They're always supportive of us. But all the kids here have seen them. Right. We want to take them to UT Austin, A&M. Remember, I'm not in that battle of A&M, UT. Just, I always get grief about that. That's not my point. My point is I want them to just see something different. Yeah. I want them to see that the undergrad population of UT Austin is 20,000 more than the entire population of Sherman. Yeah. I want them to see the bigness of stuff, and they might not like that. Yeah. They might go, I want a much closer to home, smaller college where I feel I can talk to my professors, like Austin College or like Grayson College. Great. Yeah. But we want them to see that. So that's one of the things I think that it makes us also so powerful, that we just we open their eyes to whatever. That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. So y'all are wrapping up the summer session. Yes. I'm sure that's a big relief to you. It's not the 11 and a half hours of chaos that you deal with on a daily basis, but you're starting the after school program for the Boys and Girls Club. Yes. Talk a little bit about that. You were explaining there's the after school program for each campus. Right. And you guys have staffed up as well to support that over the past couple of years. So talk a little bit about just what that looks like and well, here's how it was. We were having the SISD, huge supporters, Dr. Hicks, when he was still here, great dude. They were busing the kids over here, and we totally appreciate that. We again, about the same as summer, about 215, 220 a day was our average daily attendance. Yeah. But I was like, I want to hit more spots. Now, a lot of people know my background was with the Boys and Girls Club of the Big Pines in Marshall, Texas. Right. Marshall is much more than Sherman and then Grayson County. A lot of small towns. Jefferson and Elysian Fields and Wasp, all these little teeny towns that those kids need something, but there's not going to be a donor base to get our own building and stuff. So we partnered with the schools. Yeah. And when I was in East Texas, we had 26 sites, and all of them but 2 were school-based sites. Mm-hmm. So I was like, this is up my wheelhouse. We started talking with Dr. Hicks while he was still here, getting it going. Last year we got it going, and our average daily attendance went from 225 to about 600. That's amazing. And the way I look at it is that is so many more kids that have a safe place to go after school instead of going to an empty house. And there's something I always quote this, like when I speak to Rotary or Kiwanis or something like that. It's from the Children's Defense Fund. Now it's probably by now it's like 7 to 10 years old. Right. So it's probably changed a little bit, but they said every day 2 million kids go home to an empty house, which their chance of becoming involved in a crime or a victim of crime doubles. Wow. So, and of course everybody thinks of the murderer, molester, something terrible. Yeah. But also, kids, I don't have anything to do, so I'm gonna throw rocks and just throw them. There's a car, I might hit the car. I'm gonna have $5 in my pocket. I'm gonna walk down to the store and try to steal a candy bar, even though I've got $5 in my pocket. We give them productive things to do, so they're not getting in trouble, as well as a safe place being within our walls. Yeah. So that's one of the first big things. But the other thing where this really grew is these are neighborhood schools. So obviously, if you're in the SORI zone, you live way the heck out there kind of thing. And one of the things that I like about this is it allowed us to get quickly into the impact with the kids.
Yeah.
We were able to do the homework right away. We were able to do our preventative programming, our enrichment programming, all the fun stuff right away. Because in the past, when the kids from Story were coming over here, they would actually be on the bus almost the whole time. I need to get out of class, do the buses, and okay, here's the Boys and Girls Club bus, and all those kids would get on the bus. They'd get over here, hand them a snack, and oh, your ride's here, that kind of thing. So this has been really great. It allows us to do that, and plus the fact that we're there. Our official, the way we tell everybody, is 3 hours after the last bell. So if school gets out at 3:30, we're there till 6:30. If we need to be, if it's 3 o'clock, it's 6 o'clock, whatever. Right. So one of the great things about it is, and this helps the parents too, they can work. They could probably go to the store, grab some food, or if they're going to go out to dinner somewhere, grab the dinner, then come get their kid and go straight home, have more family time, getting the homework done and stuff like that. So in that regard, I really like it because we're serving so many. I mean, I was happy. 200 a day is a good number. 225 a day is a good number, but 600 is a great number because that's, 375 more kids that are not going home to an empty house, that have a safe place to go. And I look at it as for the kids. I always say this about the Boys and Girls Club. We're like 90% for the boys and girls, but there's so many working parents and dual income. Absolutely. 10% for those families too, who's like, I don't know, I'm going to send my 5-year-old home by himself or herself, and I'm going, oh my gosh, that's what havoc could a 5-year-old handle? So that's one of the big things that I'm really happy about that we were able to do. And I got to give props to the Sherman ISD because they're working great with us. We started really quickly last year, and so they gave me. The first part of the up till Christmas break was a little bit crazier than I wanted it to be. Mm-hmm. They gave me some good feedback. They were patient with us, and we got a really good program since January 1st. After school was really great. And now that we've had a lot of time, and we've been doing trainings, we've been attending the new teacher orientations and the school campus orientations, learning their PBIS, their acronym that, at Fairview, SOAR, SOAR, and all those different things. And so we're part of their culture. In fact, one of the principals said this to us. She said, it would be great if you guys would be more of part of our culture. And I don't think it was being said as an insult. Right. That's, so the teachers knew who we were. So we knew who the teachers were. We know how they, what their phrases are for being quiet. We, some schools it's level 0. Yeah. Or put a bubble in your mouth. Don't talk, whatever. So we're using the same vernacular and doing the thing, and complimenting the school. So I'm super, like I said, last half of the year was great. Last half of the school year was great. And I'm really optimistic about where we're going now and serving the kids.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. So another thing I wanted to ask you about is I got your postcard for Ghouli Golf, and this is one of y'all's
Ghouli Golf. Our only one now.
This is y'all's only fundraiser. And so it's a golf tournament, but it's a different spin on how these golf tournaments are played. Yes. And tell us just a little bit about that, and if people want to become a sponsor or support or whatever they can do. To help out with that.
Okay, so Ghouli Golf I came off the premise. I was talking to a friend of mine who was telling me, he was like, I'm playing in 4 charity tournaments in the next 2 months. And I don't even know what I'm supporting. That's what he said. And I was thinking about that. What's the difference between like mine and a police association or a PTA's or the chamber? Or they're all golf tournaments. So we got to do what makes you stand out, because unique is what people look for. Unique sells. Mm-hmm. So we came up with this, and like almost all the holes are gimmicks. They're all goofy. We have one where if you're a right-handed golfer, now we provide the clubs because we know how people are with clubs. But you're a right-handed golfer. We say, oh no, so let me have that right-handed club because you have to tee off left-handed. We have something like that. We have one where you play against the clock and you go on time and you see as fast as you can to finish and get the hole in. We have, I'm trying to think of some of the other crazy stuff. We have one where you wear a sombrero. That's just stupid. But you wear a sombrero, and if the sombrero comes off, it's a penalty. Rather than doing a longest drive, we actually take those, if you go to Spirit or Walmart or whatever, get those big animatronic monsters. We put an animatronic monster just way the heck out there. So it's still basically it's a long drive. Right. But whoever closest to the monster. Okay. Stuff like that.
And just for clarification, it's Ghouli Golf, and it's October 31st.
October 31st, Halloween themed at Tanglewood in Pottsboro. Yeah. Mike Fish, the pro at the golf course, is a board member as well. So he's very, very helpful. But the board's been working really hard about getting all this done. Yeah. So it's been, like I said, it's super fun. There's nothing else like it. I mean, we have food on every hole, so you go to the first hole, and I don't know the exact order, but
You gotta
first
have
hole,
some candy, right?
we always have candy,
Okay.
but you go to the first hole, and it's like pieces from Domino's. And you go to the second hole, and there'll be Cokes. You go to the third hole, and there are desserts.
Right.
Go to the fourth hole, and there's a taco stand. The fifth hole, and there's beer. Sixth hole, there's, that kind of, so it's like perpetual food, a lot of picture opportunities. And the cool thing, I always tell everybody about this, is over the last 2 events, we've had about 60,000 impressions on social media.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're a charity. We rely on the community and their generosity to help us out. But if you think about it, I mean, I always argue that you could take some of this from an advertising budget. I mean, if you're getting that many impressions, if that many people are seeing you, so like when we have a thing, this is a really good one, called Chuck a Club. We provide the clubs, but you take a club, a junker club, and you chuck it. And whoever it lands the furthest, they're gonna get a prize.
Yeah.
But when I do the shot of it, I do the shot here, the video, and then the sign for the sponsor, and then we watch you chuck in your club. So every time, whoever the sponsor is, and I think this year it's Ameristate Bank, but every time the sponsor is seen, and people watch that, Same as with, we have one hole where you use a water balloon launcher, and instead of teeing off, and you launch the ball, and people are driving the ball like 400 yards, kind of just launching it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's the kind of stuff it is. It's meant to be fun. It's meant to be silly, unique. Yep. It's meant to be a good afternoon out there with friends, and don't talk about it. Shh. Who cares if you talk? I'm gonna be, that kind of thing. That's the idea, is to be nuts. And people wear costumes. I dress up like David Pumpkins. If you ever watch the Saturday Night Live, I got the David Pumpkins outfit. I dress up like David Pumpkins. But we've had people come as the Wizard of Oz and stuff like that. So it's a really fun event. Yeah. It's like nothing you've ever seen. Get a lot of good food. There's an auction. We always have an auction. We're adding stuff like a golf ball drop. It's like $10 a ball, and closest to the hole when you drop it, we'll get $1,000. I mean, a lot of good stuff to where, as a player, you could still. I mean, there's prizes again for closest to the monster, and there's prizes for. We're doing a marshmallow long drive. So we'll put a marshmallow down. I hit it square. I'm not a good golfer. I'll be the first to tell you, I'm not a good golfer. But I did a practice one to do a video to start promoting it and stuff like that. Maybe at 10, 11 yards at most. I mean, it was good. I kept my head down. Good solid foot. Smacked the marshmallow, just went for it. But I mean, we're doing fun stuff like that, but you'll win prizes for it too.
Right,
so
right.
it's gonna be fun.
It's a good time, and the most important thing is it supports the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah.
This is y'all's big fundraiser every year.
It's our only one,
so,
and it's Ghouli Golf, www.ghouligolf.org.
Yep.
GHOULIE.
And that's where you can sign up to be, like, if you want to sponsor or
Yep.
support in any way.
All that. Get a team. Yeah. So Ghouli Golf, and then since I got free time, I'm gonna pitch. We also do if you ever want to be a donor, because I love getting URLs that you'll remember. Just a regular donor. If you go to bestinvestmentever.org.
Okay.
And that's that. And we have ways to do. Everybody does it. I did a project on it when I was lucky enough to go to Harvard Business School through the Boys and Girls Club to get a nonprofit certificate, and we had to do a project, and it was. Before now, everybody does this, but I called it micro giving, where you could donate. If I had, 500 people doing $10 a month, this club is financially stable at $10 a month. You know what I mean? So don't ever think that the littlest amount that you're able to give is not going to make a difference for the club, and in turn, for my vacation. I mean, for the kids. For the kids, not my vacation. I'm just joking. Not my vacation trip. I promise you, it's for the kids. Yeah, but no, I mean, for real, for the kids, it allows us to keep our prices low. It allows us to keep these extra hours. It allows us to do our teen center. Our teen center stays open later and gives a safe place for teens to go. And in Grayson County, we have a higher average. I always throw this stat out there too. Higher than state average for teen pregnancies and underage drinking. And in my opinion, a lot of that is due to not having a lot to do for kids. So after everything slows down, we're gonna go fool around, we're gonna have a beer, we're gonna whatever. That kind of thing. So just being here, being available for them, I think that's a good thing.
That's awesome. Well, Brian, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the update. And guys, support the Boys and Girls Club.
Ghouli Golf.
Yeah, Ghouli Golf. The work that Brian is doing here is amazing, and we really appreciate you. So
Sure.
thanks again.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
All right, we'll catch y'all later.